Final from the McDermott Center, UIW 57, St. Edwards 49. UIW moves to 6-3 on the season, and we're now joined post-game with head coach Jeff Dow. Coach, congrats on the win. A really hard-fought battle between you and the Hilltoppers. What are your kind of initial thoughts of this game?
Well, obviously, as I told the team immediately in the post-game speech, it does beat the alternative, losing a game like that. At the end of the day, we did just enough maybe in the last 3 minutes of the game to get a little bit of separation. Just if I'm being honest, we're generally pretty disappointed. I told you before the game that, sometimes, players and teams in the Lone Star Conference, there's not much that separates them, from playing in the Southland. They obviously had some individual players that would clearly be in our rotation. They were good enough and played well enough to show that. I thought we just almost kind of had a mindset that we were waiting for it to get easy, and they weren't going to roll over at any point. And, we kind of let them hang around, and, we caught a few breaks. There was a couple times where they had 2 free throws, missed both of them, things that momentum could have swung significantly. So, but some of our stats are pretty alarming, turn it over 20 times. Let's take out the Texas Tech game the other day, but, last Sunday we turned it over 12 times against Tarleton State. And we've had several games where we only turn it over 12 or 13 times. So 20 turnovers. We shoot 50% from the free throw line. That's tough to swallow. You can't, I know I'm speaking the obvious here, but you can't get separation when you're turning it over 20 times. You shoot 50% from the free throw line. You shoot 22% from 3, and you shoot 35% overall from the field. All those are so negative. They're so below average, if not bad. It's hard to go on any kind of a run or get any kind of separation. And, we were just good enough defensively, I suppose, but not exactly thrilled about the 25 free throws that we gave up. We talk a lot about foul discipline, and it wasn't there today.
Mm-hmm. Talk about those second and fourth quarters. Y'all really kind of grinded there on the defensive end, held St. Edwards to 2 of 15 in the second and 2 of 11 from the field in the fourth quarter. What was it about those kind of key quarters that y'all just hunkered down defensively?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to watch the film and see kind of if there was anything different. I think in the second quarter, if I recall, we played a little bit of zone, maybe mix it up a little bit. I'm not really sure. I'd have to watch the film, Sam, to kind of see. I thought, generally speaking, we did a pretty good job of, we talk about taking away the first option, the second option, within set plays. But then we would break down. Somebody would get beat off the dribble, or we'd have a post player that would get face cut, and now all of a sudden they're catching it, 10 feet from the rim, and that inevitably led to a foul or a shot around the rim. But and then the other thing, too, that we're typically pretty good at is transition defense. Gave up some baskets we don't normally give up. Now, some of those might have been off of, we call it a live ball turnover, and, and all of a sudden you're quickly outnumbered. But, typically that's, we're always looking at those stats in the middle of the page, and, for us to lose by 9 in points off turnovers, that's typically something that we're usually like plus 10, when we win. For us to lose on second chance points and fast break points, like I said, that's a little disturbing. That's got to get better, certainly starting with practice on Monday.
Individually speaking, you had 4 players in double figures led by Nina De Leon, who, all across the page had a really good stat line, not only just doing it points, 7 rebounds to go along with 5 assists, 4 steals. What about Nina's game continues to just show to be why she's one of the best players on the team?
Well, obviously, kind of as you just kind of illustrated, it's the all-around production. She makes 2, she makes 3, she gets to the line. I know at the half she was leading us in rebounding as from the point guard position with 5. That might be an indictment of some of her teammates. I don't know. But ends up with 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. Gets after it, obviously, on the defensive end. And, of course, without having Aaliyah Collins or Puff, who's out, obviously, with the ankle injury, her value is even more important to us. And a little bit out of character, obviously, to have 6 turnovers in a game like today. But fortunately made enough plays down the stretch that to, again, give us a little bit of separation at the end.
And then 2 more games here in this year before you go into the new year and start Southland Conference play. You get TLU next on Wednesday. What are those kind of final progressions you want to see from your team going into conference play?
You know, with Texas Lutheran, we pointed out to the team just now, the same Texas Lutheran team beat St. Edwards, 3 weeks ago, I think. So if that doesn't get your attention, not to mention the game here last year at this place, or at our place, was, I mean, it was a one-possession game fairly late. We coughed up, I think, a 15 or 16-point lead. So again, it's kind of one of those, to be honest with you, Sam, is periodically, as I say, this has to mean more to us than it does to them, and yes, it's the final game right before Christmas break, but, we got to have great practices Monday and Tuesday, be locked in mentally, got to play better. In terms of the one after Christmas, that's our third and final money game. So, we're generating revenue for UIW athletics, and helping in that regard. It is what it is. We're playing Arkansas, a team that was not that long ago projected, to play in the NCAA tournament. They're a traditional, powerhouse out of the SEC. You never know that first game after Christmas. I'm just telling, in all the years I've done this, a lot of times it's a struggle. We were pretty generous this year in giving our players 6 days off, which is, more than what you typically get, at the Division I level. So I know those first 3 or 4 practices will be a struggle. Hopefully nobody gets hurt, at Arkansas. And, I'd like to think we'll be, competitive. Obviously, we saw that in the TCU game, not so much in the second half the other day against Texas Tech, and then we got to have, quick turnaround. Obviously, just a few days after that, we open with Lamar in conference play.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time. Congrats on the win. And this post game is presented by Image 360 San Antonio West.